checking in those bags, shopping when we land. Big FN bag of ballin'. Plead the fifth if I get caught, they talk. Came through dripping on them, I been saucing.
Hey, what is going on, y'all? J Trades here, back with another brand new video. And in today's video, as you guys can see from the title, I'm gonna be talking about my platform advice for those that are trying to pass phase 1 and phase 2 and finally get live funded with their 6-figure accounts or whatever account they are going for. And this is my personal approach that I personally have done research and backtesting on, and I've personally liked from live trading as well. That I find that helps very well with your psychology of who you are as a person, as well as bring in some math into it. So this is laid the template of today's video. Very simple, straightforward, but I'm just going to go into a straight short video and breaking down the two different approaches. One is aggressive and the other one is conservative. Okay, these are my rules that I personally have made for myself and many of my students as well on how they should be approaching these platform challenges and getting funded within a reasonable amount of time. You don't want to be taking these challenges for 8 months or whatever, way too long. Like, there's no point in doing that, in my opinion. If you are profitable and proving profitability from live markets or backtesting, and you can stick to your systems and become disciplined, you can definitely pass these challenges within 1 to 2 months or even less than a month, depending on which approach you take, right? So for these two approaches, here they are. Basically, essentially, I'm gonna break these down now in terms of math. Aggressive approach I would consider is risking 1% or 2% per trade. Now for me, this is dependent on your win rate, which percent you pick. Okay, if you have lower than a 50% win rate, I highly recommend going with 1% per trade. If you have greater than 50% win rate, I would try looking for 60. I'll try probably saying like 70% win rate. To be fair, you can risk 2% per trade. Okay, what this means is essentially you need. Okay, if you're risking 1% per trade, you need to lose 10 trades in a row to lose your account. To lose the whole entire account. 10 trades in a row, the possibility of hitting 10 trades in a row is low, but depends on your win rate, like I mentioned, of your system that you already backtested. This is taking into consideration, you already know your data, you already know your strategy and the ins and outs of it. 2% per trade, you only need to lose 5 trades in a row and your account is gone. So that is definitely a lot more risky, but this is for people that have already funding or a lot of capital and a lot of just funds in management already, that already have a proven track record of years of consistency or whatever, and they don't mind taking on that loss of a challenge fee just because they have proven themselves already in the past. And there's no point in wasting their time. Their time is precious to them, so they're fine with losing, taking 2% per trade to pass much faster, twice as fast, realistically, mathematically speaking, as someone risking 1% but also taking on that bigger risk of potentially going to that drawdown. Max drawdown rule for this is 4% per day. No matter if you're risking 2% per trade or 1%, it just means basically losing 4 trades in a day if you're risking 1%, or 2 trades in a day if you're risking 2%. This is near the close industry standard of 5% max drawdown for challenges in general per day. So that is the max drawdown I highly recommend for those taking the aggressive approach. Last but not least is trading more assets. So if you really want, you can add more assets to trade. Again, you need to backtest these assets to make sure your strategy works, because most strategies do work on most assets, but some assets are more profitable than others on a certain strategy. So this does depend on yourself, and this is more optional. If you want to pass faster, you would want more opportunities, more setups to occur, right? Therefore, you would want to trade more assets and look into taking more setups. And last but not least, once funded, once you pass phase 1 and 2, personally, in my opinion, I use the same risk parameters for phase 1 and 2 to keep everything mathematically consistent. And once funded, you start risking 1% per trade only. You want to reduce that percent. If you're already risking 1% per trade in aggressive, you can go down to 0.5% or just stick it to the 1%, okay? But no matter what, I would never go over 1% once funded, just because now you work so hard to get that funded account. You don't want to be risking live money, okay? You want to be genuinely taking it seriously and get a payout first of all and secure that before you even move on. So that is the aggressive approach I personally recommend. So once funded, risking only 50%, 1% per trade, or just reduce percent risk by 50%. Same thing with the bottom run right here for conservative. For conservative, I recommend only 0.25% or 0.50% per trade. Again, this depends on your win rate. Same concept applies over here. If the win rate is above or below 50%, that depends on which one you will risk. Max drawdown 2% per day, very reasonable. You have to lose 5 days in a row to lose the whole account. That is very unlikely unless you have a super low win rate, okay? And then you only stick to only one asset in this situation. We don't care about trade frequency. We just want to basically have a safe way of passing the account. Risking 0.5% per trade, you have to lose 20 trades in a row to blow an account. That's super unlikely. Even if you have a 30% win rate, over like span of 1,000 trades, you probably get like a 17 losing streak, but you won't get 20. 20 is like insane, okay? I won't lie, 20 is absurd. If you're really following your rules, you won't hit 20 in a row. So you basically won't lose an account if you're risking 0.5% per trade. If you're risking 0.25% per trade, you need 40 losses in a row, and this literally, if you're risking 0.25% per trade, and if it's your first time taking a challenge, I would recommend this just to try it out. It will take a very long time to pass though, I will say, because your target is 40 winners. So, you know, that's just for phase 1. So 40 winners is, you're basically trying to hit 40% in a sense, if you want to unfortunately calculate this, or 40 RR. That's going to take quite some time depending on your strategy, but even then, most strategies return 10% per month. Mine that I've customized and was optimized to the max possible that I teach in my course definitely returns more than that. Usually I return 20 to 30% minimum per month to month. Never had a red month with my strategy that I teach. But yeah, so this percent will take some time depending on the strategy you're trading. And then once funded, risk only 0.5% per trade, or reduce it to 50%, right? So if you really want, I would say conserve. Honestly, once you're funded, you have proven yourself, in my opinion, to pass both phases with a good trade sample size. And that's not gambling basically off 1 or 2 winners. I think is a really good way to prove consistency. Of course, you want to have a bigger track record, but I think that's a pretty good way of guiding and determining where you are in your trading journey. So I would say once flooded, honestly, I would stick to just asking risking 0.5% per trade if you're willing to take a conservative, or going up to 1%. Well, again, that is up to you and what your approach and what your situation is. Everyone's personal situation with money is differently, so that'd be something you want to take into consideration. But these are basically the general outlines in terms of risk management that I like to use to approach these platform challenges. And if you guys did enjoy this video and want to learn how to pass these challenges yourself, become a self-sustainable full-time trader, definitely check out my course down below. It is currently on sale for like 50% off or something, I believe. But we have a big sale going on right now. I want everyone to get the course in as soon as possible, basically, so you can get a mentor that already done all the mistakes in the past and can guide you to popularity much faster than you doing it yourself, right? You doing it yourself is going to take much longer. You're going to have to go through all trial and errors yourself. While why not have someone else that's already gone through all that, right? So basically, again, it's up to you, whatever path you guys want to take with this. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.